How's it, everybody? Welcome back to the Positive Hour with Travis and Bradani.
What's up?
Well, our topic today, since we see everybody posting about it, and it's pretty much the big news, is World War III. Nate, what do you think about this?
Man, if you go into history, man always like kill each other. That's inevitable. For me, I like peace. I rather coexist with my fellow human beings. I want to talk about not talking about the war. Not talking about these things. When you're around people, like, talk peace. Be positive in a way of coming into agreement with a diplomatic situation instead of war. Talking things over, mediating, bringing back all those things we was taught in school.
Yep.
When you had a fist fight with your friend or your student, you come inside and you mediate, right? You talk about what you don't like about this person, you don't like about this person, and we find a solution to coexist.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 out of 10 times it works.
Yep.
If we can work between regular people, we can do that with a nation. It all starts with we as a people cannot fund hatred. Funding me monetarily, or for me as an American governments and governments in general, we can stop funding people to kill each other. We can stop sending things to kill each other. It's a sad topic for me, because I don't like to talk about war. I don't like war. My grandpa fought in World War II. Travis's grandpa fought in World War II. My wife's grandpa fought in World War II. My grandpa Benny fought in World War II. And none of them were proud of it. None of them was proud of killing Japanese or German soldiers. None of them. None of them ever talked about it. And they lived it, They woke up, they never knew if they was going to live.
Yep.
I mean, Travis's grandpa got wounded. My wife's grandpa got wounded 3 times. And they were never proud of it. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? What does that tell you? If people who actually fought in war said it was gruesome, said it was painful, the stench, the loud noises, they came back a little broken, what does that say? We don't need it. My wife's grandpa, only talked about, we should have talked about it and had a peaceful approach to it. Working out your problems. Talking, yeah, instead of, right? What you think, bro? This subject is a hard one.
It's a hard one. You would want to have peace, and like how Nate said, through history there's war. You're gonna have psychopaths that want to just do things. Again, it's what is portrayed. At the same time, you have to look at, or we should be looking at, ourselves as well. Sometimes the people that are behind it all is actually just pulling the strings of a puppet, and you're just seeing what they want you to see, and they're just playing you into their hands. Now, what happened for what's starting this, or starting the war in the Middle East? I think it sucks, and like, I watch a lot of like people not a lot, but I watch some of the podcasts like Piers Morgan when they're interviewing, and I noticed that a lot of them they're always persistent. They passively aggressively attacking people that are standing up for Palestine or whatever. And yes, you got to think, if you passively aggressively attack somebody, they're not gonna answer you regardless, because they know that they're getting trapped. But what we don't know is we're not there. So we cannot talk for what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, at all. The hatred between the two countries, or even that Middle East between Israel, like Nate said, it's in history. It's in the Bible.
Over 8,000 years of hatred between them two.
So to get over it is going to be, it's like everybody's like, we should do peace talk.
It's in the DNA, man.
It's the shitty part is it's very hard.
It's very hard.
Very hard.
It's difficult.
But you know what happened. Like if the way that I look at it is, if somebody came to just Hawaii, I'm gonna just put it that way, easy, and just started massacring people and killing your family and kids. In my mind, because I'm human, how would I want to retaliate? This is just, we have to look at it in both perspectives. Now, they had this hatred and both sides was doing this to each other. But how would I want to retaliate? It's not good. I would go till either I'm pretty much non-existent. That's the honest truth. And when people are saying you should cease fire and stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Some people are like that. Some people try to do that.
And you gotta think, there's gonna be people that's gonna want this to happen because they just enjoy. They have bloodlust. They want this. They like to see that. Again, but we have to look at it in both spectrums, because we can't just come from, well, we gotta be peace. Well, if your family got killed in front of you, would you want peace? I'm gonna say a vast majority is gonna be like, I want vengeance. And this is just being honest. Now, what's going on, you know, in war, in every war in history, there was never a non-innocent person dying.
Yeah.
And Genghis Khan, he nailed
everybody.
China and everything.
Napoleon.
Do the research.
Stalin killed 30 million of his own people.
They were genocide was back in the day.
China too. Mao.
That was it.
Mao was starving these people to the point of cannibalism in China.
Like
crazy.
Nothing has ever changed in war.
Nothing.
You know, and it sucks. There's never ever good in war.
Nothing.
And then, like I said, it's going back to the peace. Everybody wants
Yeah.
peace, or would want to have peace. Maybe, but I think a lot of people that had innocents die want redemption.
Case in point, you know, it's almost in every man's DNA to dominate and to conquer. Whatever we just talked about persistence in our podcast. We want to defeat whatever is in front of us, or whatever is better than us. We want to be better.
Yeah.
Majority of the time.
Yes.
And here's where I would say to our fellow American people, or the people watching our podcast, is who you elect, you know, in your politics, that have the same of peace of mind. That way they won't go out and be money hungry or power driven as well to dominate the world. Because if we coexist, we would live. There's certain parts of the areas of the world that we get our medicines from, we get food from, and we get resources we take from them, and there's resources they take from us. If we can live in a cohesive way and work together in a part like that, there would be, and share everything, there would be no war. But it's inevitable because people want to conquer other people.
Greed.
People some people like to put the foot on the people's neck. You know, dictators over so. And the hard part about it is we have to be careful on who we elect. Who wants the peace? Who doesn't want the war? Number two, stop talking about it. If we stop talking about war, it's not going to occur. How do things mostly get created?
Rumors.
Which is due by what?
People talking.
Talking. But if you don't talk about it, it doesn't exist.
Oh, not always, but for yes.
No.
You won't feel the fire.
For you as the people who are not in Israel and Palestine right now.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's existing there. Should we help? Yes, but we should be helping, to me, both sides. Both sides got innocent people killed one way or another. And like he said, the hatred has been from 8,000 years or more. Israel, you killed my grandpa.
Yep.
So I'm going to kill your daughter today. 10 years from now, you killed my daughter, so I'm going to kill your son.
Yep.
It's a recurring act of people dying over things that, like he said, families are dying. So what we do there, we do the best we can to keep sending, even if we have to keep sending mediators to stop them from fighting. That's better than annihilating a single race.
True.
Then, what happens if we let Israel annihilate Palestine, right? or we allow Palestine to annihilate Israel. God forbid any of that. Who's to say the world will be like, let's go after the Koreans now?
Yep.
We really had persuade the world to annihilate one race.
Yep.
Let's try to eliminate the next competition. I'm not spreading rumors. I said, who's to say they do that against Korean? Or what they say, okay, let's go to Hawaii and eliminate all the Hawaiians. Small group.
Just wipe the whole island.
Wipe the whole island out.
Just all the change.
God forbid, right? You understand what I'm saying, right, Travis? If we allow war to happen and allow people to annihilate a race, what you think somebody else will like annihilate the other competition? What you think about that, bro?
No, it's
That's an interesting point, right? If we allow people to annihilate a race,
it's over.
who's next?
Aliens. Probably. I mean, definitely. What Nate is definitely right. I mean, and again, we never have anybody that was in there, so it's, you know what I mean? It'd be unfair for us to say just get over it and have peace, because in all honesty, that's a very hard thing to do and a very touchy subject. But like how Nate said is, to me, how I look at it is, United States, I look at this. When people from the mainland come to Hawaii, a lot of them, not a lot of them, but there's a few or a bunch that usually get beaten up or get slapped around because they have no respect. And a lot of Americans, and I hate to say this, they just don't have respect. You know, I think our politicians, if they respected other countries' outlooks, religion, whatever, you just respect it because that's their country. And we just mediate to try to stop things that are negative, killing or if you was to go like where there's a bunch of renegades in the jungles when they're just wiping out other villages, and you're just trying to mediate it to stop it, you know, to make everybody more civil. I think that's what the United States should be doing. Instead of sending billions of dollars over to fund and give all our missiles and whatever to another country on both sides of Ukraine and stuff, mediate it. You could still make a buttload of money if everybody was at peace. You know, if China stopped trying to encroach into other territories and just stayed in their lane, and they
coexist.
have a continent.
Coexist.
We could all do it together instead of it being China, United States, Russia, India, whatever, all the countries, Saudi Arabia, any of those countries. Why don't we just be Earth?
Yeah.
If we be Earth, like granted, there's always going to be bad things, but if we work together, Elon Musk said it great. They say that the Earth's population can only hold 10 billion people. He said if we actually coexisted, it could triple or 5 times that.
Guarantee.
Easily. But humans are greedy. What we have to do, or not what we have to, what we got to try to do is, like how Nate said, have a diplomatic approach at it. And it's not easy. We're going to fail. You're going to fail more times than you succeed because one side's being, hell no, he did this. And the other side's being, well, if you don't want to agree with it, bam. And it's just going to be, it's like 2 kids fighting in a play yard. You got to figure out how it's going to work. But be the mediator. If we did that, and then, you know, if we didn't send funds to fund wars, we could send funds to help our own country. Aid Maui, or when there was the fires by, was it California or whatever, or was it Texas, and by Canada, whatever. I forget where. But we could help us. We have to take care of us first before we can take care of anybody else.
Yes.
That's how the country should focus. It's the same as a person. If United States just sent mediators out instead of all our people, and we took care of ourselves first, like, okay,
strengthen us in our beliefs so we can fight for freedom for other people.
Exactly. Not putting our stuff into other people's business. That's why plenty of people hate us. It's the truth. A lot of other countries do not like Americans. They think of us as cocky. I traveled the world. I used to talk to them. When I said I was from Hawaii, they're like, "Oh, you're not American. You're Hawaiian."
Let me tell you something about America, though. I agree with Travis on that, but we also got to think we also stop people from annihilating other races.
True.
Like in Africa.
True.
We stopped the Hutus from annihilating the Watusis. Or we helped them to not genocide our people.
Yeah.
Exactly what America's doing now. We're trying to prevent Israel and Palestine from annihilating each other where there's nothing left of an 8,000-year-old people.
Yep.
older than Egypt. Can
yeah.
trace their lineage back before Egypt was there. I'm a Christian, but Father Abraham, he's real, people. You can look it up in Arabic and Jewish history. He's real. That's before Egypt was even there. So this civilization is one of the oldest ancient civilizations that can track their lineage back way back. And they get all these teachings of medicine, where to find water, how they survived all these years in the desert. We don't want to annihilate people. And that's one thing about America. Yeah, we have a lot of flaws. And we are nosy, and we do butt into a lot of places. But sometimes it's good. We have to have the right American government.
Yes.
For me, I'm gonna say it out front. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm sorry. I support Trump. Either you hate me for that, I apologize. But when Trump was in here, there was peace with Israel, and there was peace with Russia
and
China. Because we established, let's coexist, let's deal with resources, let's work like this. It's who we put into government that gonna dictate war.
True. And we have to look at it. Would you rather have somebody that says things you don't like but does things? Or would you rather have somebody that says nothing but does jack squat for you? And just
Come on, people. We grew up with uncles that said stuff that we never liked, but we still respect them. Our parents said things we never like and called us all kind of names, but we still love them.
Well, people I think now are just getting more softer.
It's the same thing though, Jared, if you look at it. Our uncles talk to us rough. Talk to me rough, I had family uncles who tell me, you like cry, go put on one dress. What the hell? I don't put on dress. I'm going to man up. I'm going to boss up.
Yeah.
I still love my uncles. Trump the same way. We think about it.
Yeah. Well,
But like I said, I'm not trying to persuade anybody to vote for anybody. I'm just telling you who I support. I support that because I support someone who wants to have peace and coexist
yes.
with people. And when I was working construction at the time, his 4-year stint, I made the most money, bro. At the most, I never stayed home, and we never had war. There was no war.
Except Afghanistan, where we had our.
But he was trying to pull them out after. It's think about it, people. It's who we put into power that would really dictate war or not.
That's true. And it's how they mediate it. Again, we're not trying to stick on the war subject. We're trying to figure out. Hopefully this can get to somebody where they maybe go like, maybe that's a bright idea. Let's become mediators. Just something, that's what we should have been. I think if the United States was mediators that stepped in to mediate it as peaceful as possible, I think we would not be hated so bad. If people ever you go to other countries and stuff, Americans are not looked at as great as you think. I love America. It's awesome. We have great freedoms and stuff.
Well, we're American,
But we do step over the line, or our government does, on a lot of things. Like just looking, for instance, look how much of our products are banned in other countries because it's actually bad for you. This is just I'm just throwing this out there. We're back on subject, but it's bad for you. And those countries are taking care of themselves. They stop it because they know it creates all kind of things. And if we just was to sit back and take care of ourselves, stop putting our noses in everybody's business, like intrudingly, you know what I mean? Instead of being like, oh, you guys have a problem, let us try to can we come in and mediate and listen to both sides and try to see if we can come to a peaceful agreement in this part. And like I said, you're always going to have people that do dumb things. That happens in the United States. It happens everywhere. You're always going to have that one person or a bunch of people that does it. But then what they could do is, if something happens between there in a peace treaty, for instance, for Israel and Palestine, is if one entity bombs this one side, technology is so good that you could trace who that was, who they're related to, and what you do is you say, well, this is who it is, this is what it is, and you make that country put punishment on that person that is trying to create tension. And same is, I think that's what, if the United States did the same for people that are doing things that are not right, and you held them accountable for their action, you would have less crimes. I promise that. I promise. If you were to have all the child rapists get castrated publicly and whatever hand they touch chopped off, I'm just throwing this out there, you have less guys that would want to do it. If you had murderers that admitted to it, go back old school, where you let either a firing squad or they get hung, or you made it where if the family wants to shoot you, they can do it to you what you did to their person. So if you tortured their person to death, they could do the same to you. I promise you, you're not gonna do them. In the Middle East, one of my friends was there on military. He told me, Trav, you know, if somebody steals something from the store owner can grab that person, kid, adult, no matter what, chop their hand off, and there's no question asked. You see the person with all one hand, you know they one thief. The problem is, everything is getting too lax on when people do crimes. You know what I mean? If people was to break into a house, if a person has a gun, you can shoot them. It should be like Texas and Oklahoma. They're risking your family. It wasn't going to be, I got to wait to see if this person pulls a gun on me. You know what I mean? And if that person shoots one of the family members and you know what I mean? And then you finally took them out or whatever, or they killed the whole family and there was another sibling somewhere else, you don't think they're going to want to have vengeance? It's the same thing. Those little acts create big things. Regardless. Countries, gangs, families, whatever. It all goes there. But it comes down to having, one, diplomatic ties. Two, having penalties, like discipline. It's like a kid. If a kid was to steal a candy, and you beat him, you whacked his hand so the thing was bruised, so he couldn't grab nothing for a week. You think he gonna steal that candy again?
Well, yeah,
I'm just giving a. I'm not saying
there's a fine line between
I'm just giving an
abuse
example.
and stuff. So
you think the kid, I remember, I played with fire when I was a little kid. And then I used to make fires around the house because I wanted to make like I was a firefighter. And my mom, I remember she turned the lighter on and she said, "You want to play fire?" And she was holding my hand above the flame, but not where I could get burned. But what I didn't realize is she's letting the lighter get hot. And I was crying, like, no. And when she let the flame down, I let my hand go. She went, bah. Let me feel the heat of that hot baby. Let me tell you what, I never play with fire after that at all. You play with fire, you get burned. I'm just giving examples. I'm not saying beat the hammer, they can't hold anything. I'm just saying you gotta do this in order for people to understand that there's a penalty. If you have no penalties and you're letting criminals have more rights than the people that are trying to protect their things, or you're letting whatever other people do things and there's no repercussion, it's just a revolving door. What you think?
No, it's it gotta. I believe the crime gotta fit the punishment gotta fit the crime. I do believe that. I believe that 110%. And it's back on the war subject. It's all depends on who wants to change. Who's going to change. Yeah, some people call it a dream. I'm a big dreamer.
I love the dream.
I love the dream of peace between them two. I love a dream of having coexisting with my neighbors. I'm a Christian, so Jesus calls us to do. Love your enemy, love your neighbor. That's what he tells me to do. And I really want to do that. I really want to try to do that. I want to get to the point where no one's my enemy. Is it a dream? Of course. Not everybody going to change. But I can try and instill this teaching to everyone else that I meet. You wonderful people out there in YouTube land. I can try to persuade you not to have World War III. I can try to persuade you to look at the other outcomes of life, or maybe an acceptance of why people do that. I can try to persuade you that grace and mercy, will always win over hatred and anger. You can reach more people with grace and mercy. It's you know, like Travis is saying, you know, you gotta be accountable for your crime. You know, like, you know, what's going on in the Middle East, people killing people's families. That gotta stop. The only way you're gonna break that cycle is somebody say, okay, Paul, you killed my side, I killed your side. Even. Remember that? Remember when we were young kids? Or even already. Even, Paul. Tai.
Even.
You know? Even already, bro. Tai. You know, somebody gotta be that mediator to say, okay, Tai, you killed so much of their family. You killed so much of their family. The judgment gotta be rectified already. The judgment has to be rectified already. You killed this half of my family. I killed this half. Okay, let's stop killing already. Even already. And the problem is, if nobody wants to step in and do that, or these two people are too hateful towards each other where they can't stop, then we gotta accumulate kids and we gotta govern them. For me, we cannot allow war and extermination of a certain type of people. Like I told Travis in the earlier, who's next after?
Yep.
Who else we gonna allow to be exterminated? That's a scary thought, people. What's a scary thing about that? What if after, say, God forbid, right, Palestine or Israel gets annihilated, God forbid, right? Who else now we can target now? The world won't let that go. Who else the world gonna let go? Go Japan, wipe them out.
Yep.
God forbid. Oh, we got them done. Who else is the next threat?
It's a cascading thing. It's domino effect, huh?
Once everyone is on board, no one's gonna stop them.
That's true.
Then you can kill everybody that you don't like.
You know what's the shitty
It's
thing?
a sad, scary notion right there if you think about
You know
it.
what's the shitty thing? Every race, or every country, or every nationality, in their area of the world, there's something there, a plant, a bug, snake, whatever, that can cure anything. And they have all different knowledges.
And they know how to sustain it.
Yes.
Where we don't overuse it.
What we could do, is, it's going to be hard, but if they could do a peace talk, and then instead of everybody trying to trade war, we should be trying to trade medicine and knowledge, things that help stop things. I'm pretty damn sure in a lot of other countries, not only there, they probably have things that can help with cancer, with COVID. I bet you there's God put things here on earth to have something that can counteract something. The yin and the yang. You know what I mean? Right? There's fire, there's water. Vice versa. You know?
You need both people.
You need everybody. Everybody needs everybody. There's going to be something somewhere that we need that can help. And I wish, I don't know how to feel for the two, because they both went through losses. And like I said, Nate said, 8,000 years of turmoil. It's hard to just be like nothing.
Give or take a years, people. Sorry. It seemed like that long, though.
Okay, well, 1,000 years, 2,000.
For me, anyway. I don't want to just...
Okay, we're just throwing numbers there. For
No, it's a long time, bro. It's long.
We'll just say 2,000, over 2,000 years of war. We'll just say over 2,000.
I'll say more, bro. I'll say way more.
If we say over 2,000, we're cherry. If we say 8,000, we cannot prove it.
Yeah.
Not where I have physical documentation. But, and it's very hard. It's very unfortunate. I sympathize with both sides. I'm not going to sit here and say what one side did to the other was heinous and the other side wasn't. It's both shitty, but I can understand why one side did what they did after what was done to them.
Me too. I
can understand why Israel did what they did. I can't understand why something would be just done innocently on the first portion that started it all. Like I said, but that's my opinion. But and I just wish that both sides of that parties would be like, okay, they will want to be like, we want to come to the drawing table and talk story. And then hopefully the rest of the world would, instead of everybody trying to fund one other side and trying to get their 2 cents in, sit there and go, I'm pretty sure if all the big superpowers stepped in and just said, bro, just talk it out. Or else we're not going to help you. They would probably stop. Because there'd be nothing. What you can do if you don't got no more missiles to fire?
They did stop for a long time.
Yeah.
Because even in the 80s, they had conflict.
Yeah.
Israel and Palestine. And then what happened? Iraq came. And then America focused on Iraq. And after Iraq, there was Afghanistan. And after Afghanistan, back to the same part where we're at now. But it was a long period, bro.
It's a long period.
Where you didn't hear about it in the media.
Of course, because we didn't have
Probably what's going on, but you didn't hear about it. But there's nothing going on now, so they bring it back. That's how I feel, which is sad.
I think a lot of it,
Which is
honestly, is just money driven, and it's just
That's what I mean.
They're making damages go someplace else where it doesn't affect them.
Spinning the war machine because it makes money, but doesn't. You're killing everything.
I wish that our political figures would. It's quick. It's like here. It'd be the analogy that we use in Hawaii. If you go to the refrigerator that's fully stocked, you keep taking, but buy nothing. Eventually, you're gonna have nothing.
Nothing.
The same thing's gonna happen if our politicians and world leaders don't change on the war part.
No.
You keep going, you're gonna have nothing. But if we was to change it and make it more sustainable, you had things forever. I wish that we could just change that on
Me
our
too.
mindset of our leaders.
Me too.
And or try to push it on them. And maybe some do, maybe some don't. But instead of lining your pockets with money, you ain't taking that stuff with you when you're dead. I don't care. Alexander said it the best. Alexander the Great. Make sure you bury my hands, or let my hands out of the casket when you carry me through the street, so you can see that everything I amassed, I couldn't take with me when I'm dead. Like it's very simple, Now, granted, it's not simple when you lose loved ones and to heinous things or things that were malicious, I should say. That's not easy to let go. And all we can do is just hope that both sides come together and try to kind work it out. And like I tell a lot of people, quit sitting in there and I see people protesting and it's usually just going one-sided. Like, first of all, is what I would say is
Go for both sides.
go for
How's
both
that?
sides. It should be peace between both.
Both.
Not peace. Not stop one side. Peace between both. Because guess what? Even though I bet you one side is bombing, I bet you the other side is trying to figure out a way to retaliate. It has to be.
Stop giving them both weapons.
Just
And
if
give
we
them
just stop-
bread and rooms and start clean up their houses that they didn't blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy. But again, it's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not
We're
easy,
there,
but if more people can have that mindset, bro, you know
It
what I
will
mean?
change.
Can change. I believe can change
It will
if
change.
enough people get that mindset, putting down a gun and picking up a hammer
Yep.
and rebuilding.
Try.
Look at every war, especially England and Scotland.
Yeah.
England tried to breed them out, bro. Would be no Scots today if
William Wallace.
If William Wallace and Robert the Bruce never stand up for fight for their freedom. But you never see the Scots trying to take over nobody else after that. They just wanted to coexist.
Yep.
But they almost was wiped out. There was almost no pure Scots in the world. Crazy, yeah?
That is.
What men want to do to other people. Think about that, people out there. Whatever race you are, imagine they don't like you and they like annihilate you. And somebody was giving them weapons to kill you and your people.
Yep.
Wow. Think about that. Hopefully it changes perspective of trying to get a peaceful resolution. For me, this is my honest opinion. Don't pick sides, bro. Pray for both of them. If you're a believer or not a believer, I am a believer. I ask Jesus to bless both of them. And I ask God to help both of them. And I ask God to forgive both of them. I do. And I sit on that. Because I wish no one to perish. Because that's what Jesus taught me. So that's what I learned from what I am. Okay, I'm not trying to put my religion on you. But what I got from Jesus is he wished no one should perish. So in that case, I pray for both. I side with both, if that makes sense. I want both of them to coexist. That's what my belief is. And I believe if everyone can feel that way, I think, and we can surround one whole capital area where we choke them with love and mercy, It's nothing. You gotta have to change, bro.
Yeah,
It's just
that's true.
what they call it. Adapt to your surroundings.
Yep.
Right? Imagine if everyone around you like, stop, bro, stop already. You know what I mean?
And
You can't do nothing else but stop.
they do that. Like there's times where they did that with criminals in certain parts where they just showed kindness, and they don't know how to act. Like, oh, what do I do? And it's all those things, you know. Like I said, is I can't feel how they feel or know what they feel, but all we can try to do is pray for them and then try to have sympathy or empathy towards them and their families, and just be like, I can't say I know what it feels like to feel what you feel, but I definitely would love you guys to have peace somehow. Like,
No.
I don't ever condone this, but you remember back in the day, like Robert the Bruce, them kind. You know what the kings would do, right? To have peace between their countries,
They would give up their daughters
they would
or marry them off.
they would make the leaders, they would make
Marry
the
the
leader
other-
kids
yep.
marry each other, and now you would have an interbred kid, so there's peace.
It's really-
I'm just saying, I know they probably wouldn't do it, but they both the same anyway. They both the same.
Yeah.
They both the same. It's not like they different.
I don't know.
Like, I mean, as in.
No,
nationality.
I
You
understand.
see what I'm
No, I
saying? It
understand.
probably won't happen, but I'm not saying to go there and do what did they call it when they did that? It was called oh damn.
Not incest, but
no.
the marrying off the
Yeah.
arranged marriages.
Arranged marriages. Yes. Like, I mean, if they want to do that to get peace, that's the way, because you're not gonna want to kill your own kid. I'm just throwing things out there, you know. This is not anything whole, but I'm just hoping that both sides can come to agreement, and I wish the rest of the world would work together on whichever side they're backing up. They would just be like, you know what? Let's just try to get peace so we can have everything flow regular with harmony.
I just share a quick story with seeing talking about this. I saw this story on YouTube one time. So I don't know if you came across it.
Which one?
So this African American kid ended up killing this guy's son who's a Muslim, and he's standing trial, and he's kind of you can tell he's not like saying, yeah, I killed him, but he's just trying to be strong, right, knowing that he's gonna give him a life sentence. So the father goes up. The father forgives him, and he tells him, not only did I forgive you because you took away my son, now you my son. Now you gotta be my son. And the kid broke down, and the father went hug him, and the father showed grace and said, because you took my son, you gonna be my son now, and serve your time, and whatever you do, you're gonna be my son. The kid went apologized, he broke down, and he was like, I'm so sorry. The mom came and hugged the dad, and wow. But it was a horrendous act, bro.
Yeah.
It was a horrendous act. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that Muslim man said, "Now you my son," after you took my son, wow. What kind of peace and free that Muslim man was to say that to that guy was so compelling that the kid couldn't even stand. He was just sobbing and apologizing. He told the judge, whatever I gotta do for society, I'll do it. I was wrong. He wasn't confessing nothing, but when the dad did it, he just was so overwhelmed. He's like, I guilty, what I gotta do, what I gotta do. And see, the thing about that, right, when God talks about not being religious again, when a kind act or a loving act can overcome a heinous act, that's when the cycle gets broken. Same with Israel and Palestine. If one can be like that man and say, you killed my son, okay, but you my son now. We're going to take care of each other. And show that unconditional love. It'll break like that black kid.
Yeah.
It was a prime example. Maybe not all, but majority will be like that, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
Think about speed, yeah. Think about that, right? Like think about that, right? Like,
Oh.
if which is very hard. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be very hard. It takes a lot of self-control and a lot of patience and a lot of forgiving, which we all can grow
Work
to
on.
be.
Work on.
But man, imagine that act when he did that. He changed that 17 or 18-year-old boy's world for life. His world for the rest of his life. He will always be, think about it, he will always be sad that he took the guy's son away from him. He'll always be grateful if he ever gets, out of prison, or he'll be grateful, but he'll also know that even though he made a mistake, there was love at the end. And when he comes out, if he should come out, that guy is going to be his dad. Now he has an obligation to be a son to that man for taking. So the cycle of retaliation stops, and then there's a change that comes out. Now when that young man is in prison, I'm sure he's talking to everybody about what happened,
Oh yeah.
and he can therefore change their minds to live peacefully and coexist and not take any more sons and daughters. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So from that one act, if we can all be like that man, and do our best to change the outcome. I believe by watching that video, it can happen.
I like that one. Good story.
I don't know. But
It's a good story. No, if I could be that strong.
no, I mean, me too.
That's
Me too.
Ooh.
But it takes a lot of persistence, patience, and acceptance of oneself. It's a peace you have in yourself, which a lot of people, I want that man's peace. I want to feel that peaceful like that man. I want to be that peaceful and that calm in situations like that. Because that man is a great man. That's a great man, bro. That man who did that. And there's a peace that God gave him. So, with me saying that, it's... I don't want war. I don't...
Yep.
Well, what you think, Trav? I'm kind of...
Peace is. That's a great way to end the podcast.
I mean...
we just want to try to figure out a way to maybe hopefully this can get out to people and hopefully it can spread like wildfire. Like we just want both sides to be able to have peace somehow and resolve the issues that's there, and hopefully that would maybe spread to all the other countries that have animosity towards other people or their own kinds or whatever, and hopefully that can do that. I mean, it's wishful thinking, which is better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
But we would just like to say, quit trying to feed into the flame of the war stuff, and maybe let's try to turn it around and just be like, we just hope for the best for both countries, and let's just.
That's what I want.
Let's just hope that they can work together,
That's
pray
all.
for them, whatever.
Yeah, no.
And
Raja.
and we just leave it. We'll leave it as that, and hopefully they can hear this and be like, maybe they can work something out, or somebody can do something. But with that being said, we'd like to say thank you for watching again, and hopefully everything work out.
Aloha.
Aloha.